Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wingman Wisdom, and thank you for being with me today. New to the channel, special welcome to you. I'm a lifelong lover of the great outdoors. If it has to do with the outdoors, hiking and camping and fishing and hunting and RVing, I am all over it. The people that watch Wingman Wisdom also share that same kind of passion. And although we may not see things exactly the same, and oftentimes we don't, one thing you're going to see on Wingman Wisdom is we can agree to disagree respectfully. Read the comments. You'll see how many nice, thoughtful people there are on both sides of the political aisle who are trying to discuss things that I think need to be discussed. I just recently did a monologue called Blake and the Mountain, and I'll put a link to that in the video below. It's the story that my wife told me to never share with any human being ever, so I shared it with you. I'm not very good, never was very good at taking advice, but I think that there was a reason why I did it. I got a couple of emails. I wanted to read those to you. Before I do, though, now is, I'm sure you know this is RV show season. A lot of RV shows either have just concluded, they're taking place now, they're getting ready to take place. Have you been to a show yet? What's your overall feel? What's the sense that you get from the RV shows? Here's what I get, at least from the few RV shows that I have looked at, attended, and heard about, is that the dealers are very hungry. They're hungry to get rid of that inventory, and that there are deals to be made. Now, if you think you're going to go and you're going to get one 50% off, hurry! That's not going to happen, but there are deals to be made. This is a good time for buyers. If you can afford to buy an RV, you know what it's all about. I say this is a great time to buy it because inventory levels are high and dealers want to get rid of that inventory. It's the other thing, now is a good time to find a dealer that believes in service. I think that the market is going to force these dealers to deliver something most of them haven't delivered on. That's service, good service. Everybody gives service, most of it's bad. The dealers I work with give good service. They're not perfect, but they do a job at trying to be perfect. And speaking of perfect, if you want to find out how to buy and sell an RV the right way, how to not get ripped off, download my free report. You can click on the word more in the description below. It'll open up. It'll take you to a very simple one-page website called freervreport.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, I promise there are things in that report that will help save you money, prevent you from getting ripped off. So, going back to that video about Blake and the Mountain, I got a lot of response to that, and a couple of them, basically what it was talking about adversity. The people that I know that I respect the most in life weren't handed anything. They had to go make it on their own. They had to overcome personal adversity. They didn't want to. They asked to be dealt a, give me a royal flush. They ended up getting a crappy hand like most people do. It's called life. Every successful man, every successful woman I know was dealt a crappy hand, or not a hand as good as they wanted. And they had to overcome adversity, sacrifice, fail, succeed every now and then. They had to guide their life and motivate themselves to become the person that they are. And that's what my story was about, is overcoming adversity. Got a lot of response to that. I want to read a couple of these emails that came in because they really touched my heart. A lot of people agreed with my wife. That was the most ugly thing a father could ever say to his child. I said it was the greatest thing my dad ever told me because it told me reality. And sometimes reality sucks. But if you can suck it up and be tough, you can make something of yourself. Not that I've made a big deal of myself, but I'm working on it every single day. So let's go to the shared screen. And let me tell you, this guy, Mark from Albuquerque, wrote, in the 1970s, I was in the National Guard in Minnesota. I was in a headquarters unit, so we had a lot of officers. It was a suburb of Minneapolis. There was a physician assigned to our unit. He was a great guy, very down to earth. Regular job was at the University of Minnesota Medical School. One time he told us an interesting story. World War II, there was a National Guard unit in Brainerd, Minnesota, called up, sent to the Philippines. The National Guard unit was part of the Bataan Death March. Holy smokes. Some of the men survived, but not who you might think. It wasn't the big tough guys. It was predominantly the smaller guys who lived. You see, the little guys knew how to deal with adversity. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe they were picked on as when they were young. I'm not sure what he means by that. But he said, The little guys knew how to deal with adversity because they had dealt with it throughout their lives, and a lot of them lived. The big tough guys were not used to that, and when faced with adversity, a lot of them died. Of the 64 men from the National Guard unit who were on the death march, 32 survived to go home after the war. I thought you might like to hear that story. Regards, Mark from Albuquerque. First off, Mark, thank you for watching Wingman Wisdom, and thank you for sharing your story. Folks, if you have a story to share like Mark, you can email me. I love getting voicemails. You can call my voicemail 24/7. Leave me a voicemail message if you need help with your RV. I try to help as many people as possible. So shoot me an email like Mark did, or drop a comment down below. I read all the comments, listen to all the voicemails, read all my emails. And as I say, I respond to as many people as possible. So, don't let the keyboard, don't think that I am unreachable, because I promise you, you can contact me. I don't get back to everybody. I just can't do it. It's not like I got hundreds of them, but I'm not going to work any more than a couple hours a day trying to get back with people, try to help them out. All right, let's go to another one. This one is from Michael. And Michael, this is a really, really good email. And it illustrates how adversity, how kicking somebody to the get out can motivate them. Not always. Don't do it out of hate. You do it out of love. I've said before that the two greatest things that you can give your children are the security of a strong nest and the wings to fly away. Most of us do pretty good at one of those things. We make lots of money and don't give them any wings at all. They don't know how to fly. Or we don't make lots of money. We don't give them the security of a strong nest. It's a broken up, dysfunctional family, but they got wings. The best thing to do is to give them both. And it's so hard to remember that. Loving people doesn't always mean making them feel good. So as Michael says, he says, hey, Alan, the other day you talked about a guy who had an irresponsible adult son in his 30s that still lived at home. I think you like our story. Our son was in high school, did nothing. We had been struggling for several years to get him to go to school or do anything at all. The situation finally came to a head his senior year in high school. At the start of the year, we told him that he had to wise up, go to school every day, and get passing grades. He needed to get a job and start participating in life. Well, that all went well for about a month, when he just quit altogether again. He would just lay in bed, not go to school, just bum around the house all day. We took everything he had away from him to try and motivate him, but no luck. I'm going to go back to this in just a second, but how many of us as parents have been so frustrated at our kids? I think we all have. What have we done wrong? Why won't they leave? What can we do to kind of motivate them, inspire them? Hello, let's join adulthood. What can we do? I think that's what Michael is saying right here. He was at the end of his rope. He said, finally, around November, we told him that he was now 18 years old, an adult. We no longer had any responsibility to pay for him to do nothing. We told him he had until February to figure out where he was going to live, because if he wasn't gone by then, we'd boot him out. Kind of reminds me of what my dad said. When you're 18 years old, you graduate from high school, you're on your own. We let him know that we had done everything humanly possible to get him to join life and take responsibility for himself, and he refused to do anything whatsoever. So we said that the only way we can see to motivate him was to send him on his way, in the hope that he would then, out of desperation, figure out what he really wanted in life and work to get it. How difficult is that for a parent? You love your kid, but you got to kick them out of the nest. You have to. They can't stay there forever. That's a hard thing for parents to do. I don't think kids have any understanding about how difficult that is for somebody that you love so much to let the bird fly away. They have to sometimes be kicked out of the nest, and that's the way it was with this man. He says his son quickly decided he would join the Navy. At that time, they would take him even without a high school diploma. He joined up, finished his GED before the end of boot camp. After his first hitch, he decided to enter a Navy Special Forces program, which is one of the military's most difficult to complete, with a washout rate of over 50%. He had naval officer classmates who had previously graduated from the Naval Academy who washed out of the program. He was pretty proud when he completed the year of training. Today, he is a chief in Naval Special Forces. He's been all over the world, working on everything from overseas missions, presidential security team in the White House, and while on diplomatic travel, humanitarian missions to Africa and the Middle East. His family was stationed in Europe for several years. They traveled far and wide, seeing the world. He and his wife own their own home. She's finishing up her teaching degree. They have 3 beautiful daughters. He's currently completing his master's degree in business and getting ready to retire from the military. His plans are to get a senior position with a private company while starting his own business. We booted him out of the nest, and by some miracle, it worked. What we refused to do was to enable him to be a nothing. He can certainly be proud of his accomplishments. I know we are. I also know that he would never have had the opportunity to accomplish any of this if we did not put him in a position where survival was his only option. When you only have one option, that's all you have. It's do that or die, do that or fail. Most people will do that. They may not do very good at it, but they will survive. We have provided, I think, and I know some people are going to go, oh, he's such a mean person. Our society, technology has improved our lives. Prosperity is everywhere compared to our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. We are so prosperous and we have become so lazy. There's so many safety nets of government programs and loans, student loans, and oh, you don't have to do anything. Just, sit back and collect the cheese, get the money. And we have a whole society of people that expect that. They're growing up with that. Mike from Allen, Washington. What a great story, don't you think? I love hearing stories like that. They're not all successful. Not everybody's going to join the Navy Special Forces, but some do. Some build TV shows and buy ranches and campgrounds and retire pretty well off, starting with nothing. My father told me when I was 35 years old, you're getting nothing. Because he had already given me everything. I just didn't realize it. Love is not always feeling good. It's not dealing with adversity. It's dealing with adversity, being able to get through it. I'd like to hear your stories. Like Mark before or Mike now. If you'd like to share your story, drop it below. Or maybe shoot me an email or call, leave me a voicemail message. Again, this is RV show season. I'm going to close with this. It is RV show season and the deals are out there. You have to search for the deal. The dealers are out there. The dealers are willing to negotiate more now than they were in the last probably 3 or 4 years before COVID. They have got huge inventory levels. They're carrying those RVs on their books and they want to get rid of them. They're not going to give them away, but they are going to sharpen the pencil as best as possible. I suggest you download my free report if you're going to buy an RV. If you're going to sell an RV, for heaven's sake, don't sell it till you read my report, please. You may lose your you-know-what. I don't want that to happen. It's free. Go to freervreport.com. You'll be able to get it in a couple of minutes, and I promise you, if nothing else, it will be interesting reading, and it's not that long. And yes, I'm already expanding on it with some great ideas that you folks have provided for me. So now is RV show season. Be responsible. Do your homework. Don't blame the dealer if they give you a shovel and you dig yourself a financial grave. Don't get in over your head. Do the right thing. Download these reports. Read them. If you would like me to email you the updated report when it does get updated, and I'm working on that now, you need to call me. Call me and leave a voicemail message. I'm putting the number up on the screen right now, and it's down in the description below. Call me. Say, hey, Wingman, it's me. I got the first report. I want the future reports because it will be growing as the market conditions change and time permits. So thank you for watching today's video. I do appreciate it. If you would, give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment below, maybe share it on social media with your family and friends that enjoy, sitting around a campfire with some old dude that shares stories, and we all share stories back and forth. Again, thank you for watching. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.